All right, welcome back to the Auto Studios of Inside My Canoe Ed. Happy New Year. Welcome to Season 9. Grab yourself your favorite beverage. Let's get at it. Oh yes, a Happy New Year to everyone and all my listeners around the world in 49 nations and on 6 continents. Thanks for reaching out and joining us here in this awesome, incredible, opportunistic world that is 2024. We are back with bold new ideas for Season 9. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk a little bit about the focus of the last couple of seasons, why they looked the way they did. We're going to talk about Season 9's practical preparedness, and we're going to lay out how we're going to map this along with all the other online social media products we have here at Preparedness Labs Incorporated. But for this moment, thank you to everyone who continues to support this podcast. We are growing. We had an epic year in 2023. We grew by over 67%. 22 new countries around the world heard this podcast for the first time, and we are truly a global voice in preparedness. We thank you very much from the bottom of our heart. All the people here and the staff behind the voice at Inside My Canoe Head are wonderful, incredible, and helpful. So thanks again. Welcome to 2024. We hope that this is going to be the epic year it could. It doesn't matter how it started off with. It was good to know you. One of the best Instagram vibes I saw this week was a great posting on the 2nd of January going, "Hey, New Year's resolution. It was nice to know you. We had a good time. See you next year." How many people started off their year with some wonderful New Year's resolutions? I, by matter of fact, always start my New Year's resolutions on the 4th of January. And I do that, number one, because yesterday is my oldest son's birthday. He's now closer to 30 than he is 25, than he is 20. And I'll tell you, that makes you old and feel old real quick. But traditionally, I always started on the 4th of January because, number one, the 1st of January, you're probably a bit hungover. You don't really want to come up and put on that new outfit and go for a run. People are still having a bit of celebratory parties. You have a lot of leftovers, and it doesn't really fit your new diet plan, et cetera, et cetera. There are a whole bunch of reasons why New Year's resolutions are set up for failure if you try to execute them on the 1st of January. So my strategy has always been to wait a few days. It just so happens that I have a birthday in the family on the 3rd of January, so we celebrate it. I ate way too much homemade cheesecake yesterday, but that's the point, right? Now I get up in the morning on the 4th of January. We're rocking an incredible life, and we're following our dreams. So listen, Season 9, it's all about practical preparedness. But before we get off on that, I want to turn back and just zero back our focus to Season 6, 7, and 8. And they were based in 2 principles. First is personal responsibility. I hammered away on it, and you're going to hear it throughout Season 9 and forever because it's a grounding foundation of individual emergency preparedness and building and rocking an incredible life. But it's the essence of we needed to spend some significant amount of time talking about personal responsibility, the fact that it's not the government's job to save you. And in fact, they couldn't do it even if they thought it was their responsibility, even if you view the government's job as to set the world up so it doesn't hurt you. Whatever way you view that, they simply can't. They don't have the money, the manpower. They don't have the intelligence and the capability to do that. It's a placebo world, for lack of a better term. It's literally impossible. And so personal responsibility is just looking that incredible person in the mirror every morning and saying, hey, I got this, success or fail. Whether my business makes $5,000 this year or $500,000 this year, it'll be my fault. Whether I get that promotion this year or I don't get that promotion this year, it'll be my fault. Whether I lose the 50 pounds I want to lose or I don't, it will be my fault. Whether I get my mental health under control or I continue to live a stressful, anxious life, that will be my fault. That's personal responsibility. It's accepting the fact that you control very, very little. You will ground that in the Stoic idea of the dichotomy of control, which means I control very little And I will not let things that I don't control affect me. So really, you know what? The world is what it is. You can control so little about it. You're going to focus your energy and time on what you can control. And the second part, beyond personal responsibility, is it's the idea of plan or you'll be planned. And it's very simple, the basis of strategic planning value in your life. The idea that it's your responsibility to lay out a plan for what your year entails. And we always do this at the new year because it's a great time. But there's no time in the world or no time in the year that's better than today, right? So just sitting back and saying, you know what? If I don't plan out what I want to try to achieve, then I'll just be rolling with the punches. And listen, there are a cadre of people in this world that is the way they choose and want to approach life. They just roll with the punches and see what every day brings them. Great. But that's not how success is garnered. That's not how wealth is earned. That's not how you solve issues in your life like difficulties with mental health, physical fitness, none of that stuff, and your financial health. None of that stuff gets solved by happen chance, by just living day to day, right? So basically, season 8 was really concentrated and zeroed in on planning, how to do a strategic plan, the importance of having a strategic plan, and the importance of taking control of your outcomes, right? Because preparedness is, for all manner and respects, the most simplistic definition is the totality of actions, attitude, and thoughts that reach and lead to better post-event outcomes. Because everything we do in preparedness, including what the public sector and the government does, is all designed to have better post-event outcomes. That's why we do it. That's why you do it, because you want to have a better outcome than people around you. Doesn't mean you want people around you to have worse outcomes. It means you want to put an effort in to make sure that you and your community have better post-event outcomes. So 6, 7, and 8 was really about that. Personal responsibility, building a strategic plan, basically saying it doesn't matter if you're a single mother of 3 on government assistance or you just crack your first $1 million in sales. It doesn't matter where you are in life. The next step is your fault, right? You're not a victim. You're not oppressed. People are not preventing you from doing what you want to do. Those are all excuses for not reaching success. And guess what? This channel, and I will say it forever and ever, Preparedness is free. It doesn't cost any money. You don't have to purchase anything. Preparedness is an attitude. It's a lifestyle, not a stockpile. So anybody that's telling you here are the 10 things you need to stockpile for preparedness, they're not talking about preparedness. They're talking about, trust me, I've got affiliate links at Amazon. Help out the channel a little bit. It won't cost you any money. Oh, now I see why you're telling me to buy these things, because you have an affiliate link. You're going to make some money. So season 6, 7, and 8 was about that. But season 9, we are doing practical preparedness. So you're going to ask yourself, what is practical preparedness? Well, it's the translation of theory and evidence into action. What we know works from research into previous events, right? So the way evidence and research works, and you hear me throw that around a lot, but it's basically, I don't care what other people's beliefs or opinions are. If somebody says my opinion because I did 20 years in the Army about preparedness is this, it's junk. Nobody cares. It means nothing. And I say that because the only thing that tells us truly what happens is by going and looking at previous events where people were going through calamities similar to what you're facing, right? We look at that and we say, okay, there's a group of people that went through this, but there's a section of those people, of that population, that had extraordinary outcomes, that had much better post-event outcomes. What did those people do differently? What did those people understand that separated their outcome from everybody else? We look at it, we figure out the variables, and then we bring that back to you. That's evidence and research based. So when somebody says, based upon my opinion and based upon my 20 years of experience, that's nice. It's great little coffee time, but it's not actually evidence, right? That's why we base everything we do here at Inside My Canoe Head on this podcast and in our parent company, Preparedness Labs Incorporated, on research and evidence. When I tell you what post-earthquake things to do, that's because I've studied previous earthquakes, populations that have gone through earthquakes, looked at what everybody has did, segregated the population that had better outcomes, examined their behaviors, understood what separated them from everybody else in the population who had the very same effect happen to them. And then I'm going to turn around and tell you what you can do that mirrors what those other people do, because that's what evidence tells us how we know you're getting ready to have better post-event outcomes. So yeah, no, I really don't care about opinions and beliefs. I don't care about your 20 years experience in the Army. I have 28. I don't care if you're a SOFCOM guy that leaped out of airplanes and chased the Taliban around the backcountry. Cool. That doesn't mean you know more about preparedness than what the evidence tells us. It's really that simple. So practical preparedness is just that. We want to support rocking an incredible life. Now, I say this a lot on this channel. What is rocking an incredible life? It means slow and deliberate. It means 100 miles an hour. It means however you define it. What does your world look like? What do you want? This is the strategic plan idea that we talked about in the previous season, right? You know what you want to do this year. There's some great channels out there on minimalism, adopting a simple, slow, and deliberate life. If that's the vibe that you want, then go after it. That's you rocking an incredible life, because you're rocking the life that you want. If you want 100 miles an hour, if you want to be a millionaire, and you want to work the 80 to 90 hours a week and grind it out that it takes to become a millionaire, then you're rocking an incredible life. However you define it, if it's defined and if it's laid out, preparedness is the key to provide you the ability to rock an incredible life, because it grounds you in the family and household preparedness plan that provides a layer of insulation. So when exogenous shocks hit you, you are ready to go. You're ready to go. That's the whole point of preparedness, right? So when something happens outside your control that you cannot influence, and it impacts how you live your life, you have a strategy in place to be able to mitigate those effects to allow you to thrive. Thriving means that whatever that shock is, whatever that event is, has nominal, minimal to zero effect in your ability to continue to chase your dreams. Long-term power outage, great. Podcast is still up, still rocking Zoom calls. The practical preparedness will follow our evidence-based process. I talked about evidence and research. We've built a preparedness education plan based upon what has worked for other populations. We will support each step with actual and executable things for you to do, not just thoughts and ideas. A lot of seasons 1 through 8, we're talking about theory of preparedness, what it is, why it exists, etc. This time we're turning that corner. We're translating it out and around the corner and bringing it back to what can you physically do today. We're going to do this based upon the pairing of blogs on our website at www.preparednesslabs.ca. And there's a new newsletter there you can sign up. We've got a YouTube channel with 71 subscribers and over 200 videos on it. And we're going to organize this in weekly themes. So each week will contain 2 podcasts, 1 long-form video, and 1 long-form written blog about a very practical subject. It will also be reinforced with 28 shorts or reels that will go out 4 times a day on an hourly distribution through midday across our TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook profiles. All of this will go out. We're across every social media. If you go to our website, www.preparednesslabs.ca, the links to all of our social media are there, and we will start this practical preparedness next week. We will come out with 10 weeks of practical preparedness. And the idea is that we've got 10 distinct stages in the process of building a household preparedness plan. And we've talked about the theory at length. We have a couple of great books out. There's actually 3 books out on Amazon. The links are available at preparednesslabs.ca. Across the top, it says books. One is a $7 ebook that is just basically that. It's your entire household emergency preparedness plan in one book. The second one is Preparedness Thoughts from Canada. It's a collection of 330 pages of preparedness ideas and blogs that I wrote over the last 4 years. We've put together into a book. And the third one is if you're interested in municipal emergency management and communications, we've got a book on the links between social capital and emergency preparedness. It's actually my PhD dissertation in its raw form that's available on Amazon.com. or Amazon.ca across the way. But the idea being is that's our strategic plan. We've got an education strategy. We've built this over years of actually slightly over a decade of research has gone into building this education strategy. And that is going to be the grounding for these 10 weeks. So each week is going to be the next step. It's going to be logical, it's going to be fluid, and it's going to be cumulative. And so start from the beginning, follow it through. It'll be free of charge. Everything we do here at Inside My Canoe Head on the podcast and everything that's on our social media feeds is free. And it will always be free. This is our community service. This is our desire to build a more resilient and more capable community and world around us. And so we're contributing all of this, the time and the effort to put this together. There are ways that you can support this channel going ahead in season 9. It's very simple. You can go to we've got a website, insidemycanoehead.ca. There's an easy link to our podcast there. And there's a little button for buy me a coffee. If you want to buy me a coffee, there's no subscription models. We're not trying to get monthly money out of you or anything like that. We are very much just looking for a cup of coffee if you're interested. If not, keep listening. All the other products that we have for sale are there for individuals who want to make a greater commitment to preparedness. Our elite flagship model right now is our online video course. We've created a video course. It's the first of its kind in Canada, and it mirrors the entire education strategy in a video format, with a workbook to go along to build that family and household preparedness plan. The link to the video course is available on preparednesslabs.ca. All of this frames what season 9 looks for you. But what are we rolling out this year? This is the fun part that we're excited about here at Preparedness Labs Incorporated. We're rolling out 2 new books. We've got a big master book of preparedness that's coming out mid-year. And we're starting to write a fiction series on what the world looks like when catastrophe hits. And so I think that's going to be pretty interesting. Fictional series are always a lot of fun to put together. On top of that, we own and publish the Journal of Preparedness in Canada. So this is a peer-reviewed, more formal type opinion journal that comes out 4 times a year. The link to it, it's a free download, just like everything else we have here. It's available at preparednesslabs.ca. The first issue is there, came out on the 15th of November. The next issue comes out on the 15th of February. There's also a free download on preparednesslabs.ca for family household strategy. It's like a 3-pager to get you started. We take it from there. And then we're going to go forward, and we've got season 9 for 10 weeks, and then a couple of episodes to wrap it up. We've got season 10 that will come out probably somewhere around April is when we're going to launch season 10 of Inside My Canoe Head. And we've got a couple of other interesting, more strategic type executive level products that are going to come out. Those price points are going to be in the 4 figures for those that are interested in taking strategic education at the corporate level. We're going to start rolling that out at the training budget level. So those are some excellent, incredible, awesome things we have coming this year at Inside My Canoe Head. But remember, everything that we do here is all about facilitating you rocking an incredible life. It's providing you with evidence-based strategies so that you can drive right up the middle of inflation. You can drive right up the middle of unemployment. You can drive right up the middle of a housing bubble, whatever crisis you may be facing, so that you can reach that dream that you have written. I'm never going to tell you how to live your life. I'm never going to tell you what dream to pursue. What I'm going to do is give you the tools so that you are insulated against the shocks the world throws at you so that you can chase those deals, those dreams, those strategies, those ideas. That's what preparedness does for you. And last but not least, I just want to remind you that here at Inside My Canoe Head and Preparedness Labs Incorporated, we want your opinion, good, bad, or indifferent. And we get it all. We get some that tell you, please stop talking. We get some that say, we don't like what you're saying. And we get some that say, thank you very much. We get it across the board and we love it. Send it in. There's a link at www.preparednesslabs.ca. It's one of those contact forms. You pump it in there. I get it. I respond to everyone I get. Jump on to any one of our social medias. Follow it up, give me a like, give me a support, and give me a comment. If I'm saying something you disagree with, that's the point of me saying it, right? Get out there, get in front of it. Tell me you think I'm wrong. Tell me you think I'm crazy. Tell me you think I'm dumb. Please bring it out. Dr. D is happy to engage in those type of conversations. Actually, I thoroughly enjoy them. And we're over on LinkedIn as well. If you're looking at the professional side, Preparedness Labs Incorporated is there. Search it on LinkedIn, follow it, and we have all kinds of great new information. So with that, we're going to wrap up Season 9 introduction on practical preparedness and our intent for the next year. I hope you'll join us. I hope you will follow along. I hope you participate. And I thank you again from the bottom of my heart and all of the team here at Inside My Canoe Head and Preparedness Labs Incorporated. Thank you for your support in 2023. And we look forward to being your rational, reasonable, logical, and intelligent voice in the world of preparedness. Take care. Stay safe. We'll see you next week.